Hey guys, thank you for tuning in to ArtosisCasts. Welcome back. Hope you're having a nice day here today, and I hope it's about to get a little bit better because we're going to watch a Bisu Protoss versus Zerg. Yesterday, if you happen to tune in, we had Ruin going up against True, two of our best and strongest up-and-coming players. I would definitely still consider both of them as such, even though they've been pros for many, many years. But of course, Bisu, kind of the golden standard for Protoss versus Zerg. Now, yesterday I mentioned that I felt like Ruin was playing in a style that was reminiscent of Bisu. It looked Bisu inspired. Obviously everyone has a variety of styles that they can use, or most people do at least. Bisu definitely amongst them. But yeah, it felt like kind of Bisu-esque play with the heavier Corsairs, keeping them alive all game, the double expanding to 4 bases right away, that type of thing. That's something I see Bisu do a fair amount of time. So that was kind of fun, and I saw, you know what? Here's a Bisu PvZ, and it's actually against someone that I really want to see some more games of, so that's perfect. So who is that someone I really want to see some more games of? This here is XiaoShuai. XiaoShuai is the strongest Zerg outside of Korea. He is a Chinese Zerg player. We've cast him on the channel many, many times. He has extremely high MMR. In fact, he made the top 4 of ACS, which is the first time any non-Korean has ever done that. He basically dethroned Mihu. I think a lot of people are more familiar with Mihu, who has been for many years the best Chinese player. But yeah, Mihu no longer wins every tournament in China. XiaoShuai basically does. He's been crushing everything. He's been beating Mihu in those tournaments. And in fact, I think his Zerg versus Protoss is even better than his Zerg versus Terran. He's a very aggressive Zerg in general. So I think that this will be a fun one to see how he's going to fare against Bisu. And just one final word on that. Like, people ask a lot, okay, is there ever going to be a non-Korean player in SSL? And I've always believed that we will eventually see non-Korean players qualify, but it takes a very long time and a very dedicated and talented player. And so people have asked, like, okay, well, who would it be? Who would it be? There's only 3 players that I think have a shot anytime in the near future. And that would be DeWalt, XiaoShuai, and Mihu. And I think the least likely of all those is Mihu. I think DeWalt and XiaoShuai are the 2 players that actually are going to have a shot in the coming years of possibly getting into SSL. Now that, it might never happen. You can let me know your thoughts on that, in the comments and everything. But I believe these guys are working hard. They're very talented. And they play the right type of style where they can maximize how good they get. And I can talk more about that in a second, but we actually have Bisu putting on some pretty heavy zealot pressure. This is an issue. There's a lot of lings being forced. I think he's gonna force a cancel on this hatch. Like, that's just too much pressure. Dude, it's wild. Like, XiaoShuai is very good, wins lots of tournaments. And here Bisu is casually canceling his hatchery. And look at this, he's like chasing the drone down as well. Damn. Just good play. Now, Bisu pulling back with the other 2 zealots as we have lings going for a counterattack. The drone does get caught. Bisu kind of corners it and gets it killed. A lot more lings on the way. This is going to be kind of interesting. Does Bisu continue to pressure? Because there's so many lings being made. If he were not to continue to pressure, this would be terrible for XiaoShuai. XiaoShuai, because he's making so many lings, needs Bisu to attack him so he gets these 2 zealots. If these zealots just suddenly went home, and suddenly he has 4 zealots against someone who's made like no drones, how do you even play this game as XiaoShuai? It would be terrible. But here he's going to get these 2 zealots basically for free based on the amount of lings that he's actually made. Great surround there as well. So he kills all that off very efficiently. He has a lot of Zerglings, but you're not gonna be able to break through Bisu here. He brings his zealots out to deal some damage to these lings. His probe still going around for a scout. Zergling speed on the way. This is going to be a Hydralist den, 100%. Yeah, you have, like, he is an aggressive player anyways, but you have to stay aggressive here. The drone count is just too pitiful. You've made this many Zerglings. Obviously, a pure Zergling bust is not going to work against Bisu. He's already got a lot of zealots. He's already got a cannon. He's keeping an eye on everything. You're going to have to do something like a Ling Hydralisk all-in. Now, I do wonder if this could possibly be one of those ranged Hydralisk rushes. And there it is. Range. That's awesome. So, this is a more modern Hydra bust. It came out a year and a half ago. About a year and a half ago, we started seeing it pop up. It's not super popular, but everyone's used it some. And I'm sure every Protoss has lost against it some. So, it's like Zergling speed. And then you generally make 6 Hydralisks with the range upgrade first. And the 6 Hydralisks gun down the wall, and then the Zerglings just flood in and kill everything. And obviously, at that point, the Hydralisks can run up and help deal damage to the cannons and all that good stuff. So, yeah, it's a strong strat, and I think it plays very well based on how these openings have gone. So, some Hydras over here, and that range upgrade's still coming. We'll see if he makes... well, exactly how many he makes. Like I said, it's normally 5. I've seen 6. I don't think I ever see 7. And you definitely never see 4. So, hold on. How many does he have? 4. Oh, there's the Overlord he was waiting for. Oh, he's making a lot more. Oh, and he's getting speed too. You know, I think what has happened here, because he did get the range first. So I do think I was right, is he wanted to go for the range. But he can't leave here with these Zealots here. Because if he brings the Zerglings away, Bisu just kills this hatchery. And then if he holds, he wins. Okay, so I think what's happened here is he's like, well, I'm going to have to change up what I'm doing. Because of Bisu just standing here with the Zealots on hold position. Now, Bisu is just standing there because one Hydra will take 100 years to kill all these Zealots. And this is buying him a lot of time. Whereas if he comes out, the Zerglings will get really great surface area. And it's going to take not long at all, rather, to kill them. And that won't buy him much time. So he actually gets a Hydra there, which is pretty big. And as you can see, as the Zerglings surround, they have no chance. Okay, let's look at the position that we're in now. Corsair coming down to pick off some Overlords. Lots of Ling Hydra being made. He does have speed and range. Bisu should be adding more gateways. He does have a secondary Corsair that just popped out. He has +1 on the way. Templar Archives coming up. I think there's a fair chance he'll try to kill this Overlord and make a Dark Templar, but we'll see. I don't know if he'll actually end up getting it. There is a supply block at the moment. And here we go. XiaoShuai going to try to break through. The cannons are, like, I'm surprised how few cannons he has based on seeing those Hydralisks. It's kind of surprising. The Zealot's coming up and actually doing an okay job, and he is going to be able to kill the Overlord. That was actually a key moment, I think, because I think we'll see him make a DT next. Yeah, the DT gets started immediately. It's actually starting this gateway, which has potential to die. So maybe not the best gateway to make it out of. XiaoShuai actually continues to push up. Bisu is losing a few probes here. Now, he can lose a few probes without losing this game because the drone count is, like, minuscule. He has almost no economy back home. So there's still a chance here. Bisu continually pulling the probes to fight. Cannons finishing up. And in fact, the DT is going to be what cleans this. XiaoShuai has almost broken through everything. He's killed a lot of cannons. He's killed a lot of DTs. This DT pops out. That's funny. I think it was like rallied back here and then it got stuck. But yeah, the DTs are going to have to go hard on these Hydras. He can't be losing all these buildings. I don't know. Is there... Yeah, a couple Overlords kind of being sent up. The Corsair is going to make sure nothing really makes it. So much damage being dealt. Cannot lose this Nexus. Oh my god. So much damage is being dealt here. It's absolutely insane. Now, the DT, because it does have that +1, is two-shotting all the Hydras, which is nice. They get an instant point of heal, so if you don't have the +1, it takes 3 shots to kill a Hydra, and he actually probably would have ended up losing the Nexus. So, very good that he does have that. He is chasing down the last Hydra in here. The position now, a lot closer than it was. Way better tech for Bisu, but no real army to speak of. His economy is pretty weak as well at just 30 workers. Obviously, this economy is still very weak at 22. But with 4 hatcheries, you can drone up really quickly. The thing is, he's still making Hydras. And he did just get that layer. So, like, maybe we'll see him go into, you know, speed for Overlords to try to stop these DTs from wreaking any more havoc. Maybe he wants to do another attack before he thinks Psystorm can be finished. There is the speed upgrade. Couple more gates on the way, so that's going to bring him up to 4 gateways. Psystorm being researched. 2 High Templars. 3 High Templars going to be made. Hydra's run up. Oh my god, it's only 2 cannons. Dude, this is wild. I mean, you don't want to undermake cannons. Oh god. Oh my god, he's going to get the Nexus. You don't want to undermake cannons or overmake cannons. It's a tough thing, and obviously Bisu was a little bit late on his cannons early on. These 4 DTs, by the way, just wiping absolutely everything. But he's lost his Nexus. Okay, if you are going to win from here as Bisu, first off, there's no one base economy attack he can do to win. To win, he needs to remake this Nexus. He has Psystorm finishing, so he needs XiaoShuai to keep making units and attacking. Because if XiaoShuai only went into drones from here, if he just went up to like 44 drones and defended, Bisu has no real comeback potential. But the thing is, XiaoShuai is playing against Bisu. He's very close to winning, and he's going to try to kill him. You know, sometimes aggressive players, they got this mentality. It's why they're good, and it's also why they're bad. You know, your greatest strength is your greatest weakness. And as soon as that's not the case, you're a champion. Think about that for a minute. What's Flash's weakness? What's Sulky's weakness? Everyone else I can name this stuff for the most part, you know? Anyways, here come those Hydras. He's going to try to kill him here. But with all this Psystorm, like I said, this is actually what you need to be able to win this game as Bisu, is you need him making units, and then you need to crush them. And he's mostly doing that here. The Hydras are forced back. Just enough cannons. Nexus finishes. Bisu still has a worker advantage. Lots of drones going up now. And you can see no real value gained. He spent a ton on Hydras. Got stormed all to hell. Yeah, he killed a few buildings. Yeah, he forced an Archon. But that wasn't worth that. If he had, again, as I said, just droned up, he would have been so far ahead. But instead goes for the kill, and now Bisu. I feel like Bisu's kind of back in it. Not, like... I like XiaoShuai's position maybe slightly more still, though. As you can see, Bisu's still scouting very, very well. Sees that spire there. Okay, Dragoon range on the way. Yeah, this is not a game where you could flood Zealots for any sort of pressure. That's for sure. That's a good read right there. Evolution Chamber on the way. Hatchery on the way. Yeah, we're in kind of this funny position where, like, no one... It's like a rebuilding phase. No one can really attack each other, right? Bisu has, like, this Swiss Army knife army that, like, kept him alive, but you can't really attack. And then you have from, you know, XiaoShuai, it's like, well, he can't really attack in a Psystorm cannon, so he's just got a drone. So we're in this kind of neutral-ish position right now where it's like, okay, how do you want to play from here? Now, I find this to be really smart from Bisu going into Dark Archon, because he did scout the Spire. Why would you be making a Spire? Probably for a Muta switch to kill off the High Templars, because you know that this is kind of the one thing keeping Bisu in the game. So he goes into Dark Archon. He's going into Maelstrom as well. So that all makes a lot of sense to me. But at the same time, we see from XiaoShuai, he's not making any Mutalisks. He's still droning really heavily. Look at that, 12 drones at a time right now. And getting into Lurker upgrades. While Dark Archons are not garbage against Lurkers or Hydras or really anything, like they're garbage against Vultures, we'll give them that. You know, the Dark Archons are still going to be useful, but not nearly as much as he was hoping, basically. And he's not moving with it yet. He still doesn't know if there's going to be Mutalisks or not. DT kind of running away there. See this? That's kind of an interesting location. I feel like this is something to watch this bridge in a way. And of course he has his 4th base going up. The Dark Archon has enough for its first Maelstrom. Bisu adding Observatory. How many gateways do we have here? 4, 5, 6. 6+ Robo. Really actually interesting game at this point. The fact that XiaoShuai is up 13 workers and about even in supply, that bodes very well for him and the potential in this game. Ooh, that was an excellent Maelstrom. I love that. That was 6 Hydras 100% free. Well, just for mana, obviously. You know, Maelstrom plus the Psystorm. Maelstrom doesn't actually last that long, so it pairs really well with Psystorm, because if you don't, some of those will get away. So I think that that was super high usage for the Dark Archon. That was awesome to see. Hope to see more of those as well. It looks like a big lurker defense is going to be coming out here for XiaoShuai. His drone count is really phenomenal at this point. This is a tough one for Bisu. It's definitely been a weird game. He's done the things he's needed to do. XiaoShuai kind of played into him a little bit. He's got an army that can roam. He can't attack. That's an important thing to mention, is when you have an army that looks like this as Protoss, well, obviously there are positions that could be attacked, but this is much more of a roaming army where you can gain value because you never take a full fight. So, like, you pick off things on the edges that you might see. Like, he can walk down here, and he could kill all this. But as this stuff comes, you start to pull back. And if this stuff keeps chasing, you Psystorm it. And, of course, you can kite with the Dragoons as well. So, this is more of a roaming army right now. I think Bisu will very likely try to take a 4th base off of this. Because I think he'll be able to see very clearly that sitting here on the type of economy he has, there's no way for him to make an army that's going to win this game. So going up to a 4th base, though, and roaming is like a very smart play. Okay, another great Maelstrom. Gets 7 Hydras this time. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Okay, he did actually send a probe to this location, so you can see that Bisu is thinking about that, which, again, no big surprise at all. Hive on the way here for XiaoShuai. There it is. Gonna clear this area, send another probe over. Yeah, this is really the key to victory, is Bisu taking this and just kind of grinding XiaoShuai out. But XiaoShuai, I think, is playing this perfectly. The fact that he has this nice lurker defense, and then he's like, okay, another base and Hive. And from there, you go like Adrenal, and I would say you definitely get to Filer Tech as well, and it becomes such a problem for Bisu. Might turn into some sort of like multitasking war where Bisu's trying to storm drop bases or something. I'm not actually entirely sure because he's just like a bit behind. I think Bisu probably more used to being ahead at this type of spot, but not going to be the case right now. 4th base, some cannons coming up. XiaoShuai zoning reasonably well. Lots and lots of Zerglings being pumped. Lots and lots and lots of them. Adrenal on the way. The triple Evo is going. Love to see it. It's going to be +2 range and 1/1 on melee and carapace. The Dark Archon still saving up some more energy. I love that the Dark Archon is still doing its thing. Like, he's going to get a 3rd Maelstrom. You don't normally see them last that long. Kind of a funny game, though. Both players sitting back, kind of building up at this point. 2/2 upgrades for Bisu, actually. I had not noticed that. That's really great upgrades. Fantastic upgrades. Some good, a nice Psystorm defense here with those cannons. So Bisu going to get his 4th base up in mining. That's before we have the 5th base mining here for XiaoShuai. So not bad. Bisu is very quick at taking those 4ths. More Archons on the way. He has added some more gates as well. I do like him adding the Archons also, by the way. That's going to help out a lot against these Lings. Especially with his fantastic upgrades. And by the way, Bisu is going into +3 attack instead of +3 armor. Not too many Protosses do that, but this type of situation is great. Once you have +3 attack on those Archons, man, that's pretty insane 39 damage. Right now, the Dark Swarm comes out. Plague is on the way. Obviously, Plague is so strong. But don't forget, the Dark Archon's still here. So feedback on Defilers is very, very good indeed. In fact, he might feedback. Yeah, see, unfortunately for him, XiaoShuai hadn't consumed enough. But feedback is super long range, instantaneous, and only costs 50 energy. Okay, actually, Psystorm's that one. And he does cast another. I don't know where he casted that on. Maybe that was on the Defiler. But ends up losing that Dark Archon. But a Dark Archon with 2 feedbacks and like two Maelstroms is pretty damn good value, I would say. Now, this army from XiaoShuai, they're both maxed. They're both maxed. XiaoShuai's army is like, it's very good, it's very scary, but it's like, it can be Psystormed a lot. One thing to mention also is the amount of units he has here is unbelievable. Like, you cannot attack move these all at once, so they're going to come in kind of a line, because that's just what Zerg is in the late game. If this was StarCraft 2, this army would just run up and well, the Psystorms would be better for sure, but it would look a lot different. Okay, throws some big Psystorms down under this Dark Swarm. Plague goes down onto the Dragoons. Some very, very good Plagues going down. Getting those Dragoons super, super low on health. The Archons just being absolute beasts here. Look at this, 14 kills, 16 kills, 7 kills, 14 kills over here. Bisu starting to break through here, but here's the thing. He's committed his entire army. Can he remake this army? And I would say absolutely not. Like, if you lose your army this late in the game, it's not going to happen. I don't think you're going to be able to make it back. Now, he is getting a lot of damage done. XiaoShuai has lost a ton of drones here. Obviously, he's lost a lot of army as well. Is he going to actually lose this entire base is another question. I don't think so. I think he's actually going to save this hatch. Bisu's going to try to target it, and maybe because he does have that +2 attack, he can just barely... No, just barely not going to get it. 187 health left over. In the meantime, a little bit of a scuffle in the center. Zealot, Archon, High Templar, mostly being what Bisu is pumping out here. But, you know, that's an army that works really well in scrappy games where there's like a lot of fluid attacks, but not good at breaking entrenched positions with lurkers. So that could be an issue. Defiler's coming out. Defiler's not going to be as useful against this comp. But again, the lurkers will be much more useful. Trying to bring the lurkers up to maybe catch this army trying to retreat. Ooh, very good Psystorms going down. Very good indeed. Killing a lot of those lurkers there. And he does get it. Very high energy. High Templar ends up falling. Another base for Bisu going down. This is absolutely superb. He is going to get his probes there, I hope. Where are his probes? Super saturated. Good saturation. Definitely needs to send some probes. Oh, yeah, there they go. Almost missed him there. But Bisu just kind of collapsing on this army. Look at him kind of start to peel XiaoShuai apart a little bit here. Okay, in he comes towards this unkilled hatchery. He wants it so badly. Look at this. The Archons, it's hilarious how many he has in here. But still, you know, they are a ranged unit. They deal some splash damage underneath, but you don't want to fight with them prolonged under the Dark Storm necessarily. But he has enough here to end up taking down these lurkers. Those Zealots dealing a lot of damage under there, and not enough lurkers to pop them. So he will end up killing XiaoShuai's third. Kills a lot of his high-value units here as well, and keeps most of his Archons alive. Some of them getting pretty darn low at shields at this point. 3-1-2 upgrades here for Bisu. With 2-3 on the way for Plasma and Carapace, or whatever we call that, armor. Ground armor for Protoss. Still XiaoShuai with a big economy. 50 drones still. Okay, he makes the Archons look cool. Nice. Very nice of him. All right, trying to break up into this fourth base location with only a few Hydras and a few Sunkens here. It looks like Bisu should be able to break through. And I tell you, like XiaoShuai, he's definitely a very good player. He definitely had an edge, and I think he definitely could have won this game. But you can see the type of skill difference when it is like literally one of the best ever that's always in ASL against someone who can't quite make it in and is trying hard. It's like, yeah, Bisu is just another level altogether. Lurker's running up under this Dark Swarm. And GG will be called. Bisu ends up taking it. Again, I think XiaoShuai absolutely could have won this if he had droned at the right time instead of attacked after he got the Nexus. But wild game. Definitely a very fun one. Let me know how much you love Dark Archons in the comments. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.